Testing, testing, 1 2 1 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to UFRL Tier 2 Racing. Tonight we're going to Belgium and Spa, and it is round 11, I believe. I'd like to thank Viva for doing the mystery track spin. Poor chap hasn't been too well recently, so I have offered to step in, and hopefully I'll be able to do him and you all proud. Just having a look, seeing if the tables have all been updated. I'm sure they most probably have. Let's just have a quick run through how things are looking in Tier 2. Get onto it. Let's have a look. Did have it up earlier, but it seems to have vanished. I'll tell you what, let's start with the combined constructors. As if one of the cars is just leaving the pits as well. So Williams are leading the way with 1,225 points. Well, not that closely, followed by Mercedes with 954, Red Bull 914, Visa RB, can't remember their blooming name, with 817, Alpine with 764, Haas with 730, Kick Sauber with 698, Aston Martin 564, Ferrari 490, and McLaren 391. I believe, if memory serves me right, Viking Fox is somewhere up the top of the table. Having a look through all the rest of the drivers, see if I know any of them. Is Gandalf racing tonight? Yes, he is. Gandalf is racing tonight. We're currently riding on board, though, with Didi Friend, who has a early spin on his outlap. Thankfully, that is just his outlap. I think I've raced with the likes of Salty Stevens and Ark Mickey. Mr. Potwash, of course, I know well. Angry Badger, I've raced with him before. I Am Batman, I'm pretty sure I've raced with him. Jar Jar Bingo, I'm sure used to be in Tier 3, so I'm sure very happy to have been moved up. We'll try and get the standings. I can't seem to find them at the moment, but for some reason they seem to disappear on my phone, but I'm sure it's probably something that I'm just doing. I can get Tier 3 standings and Tier 1, but not Tier 2, sadly. But never mind. Woody0477 out in the Haas. Apologies if I get any names wrong this evening. By all means, please let me know if that is the case. Lots of cars going out quite late at the moment. Angry Badger and Gandalf. We'll go down to Gandalf in the Alpine to start with. Goes round turn 1. It's fairly smooth. We can get all the details up. Again, apologies if I'm a little bit slow with all this stuff. It's been quite a while since I've entered back into the commentary box. Just on board with Gandalf at the moment. He's previously been a title challenger. I believe he might have won it a couple of seasons ago. Of course, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Angry Badger then going out on the mediums in the Ferrari at the moment. Seems like an odd move. I think I would have saved them for the main race. 2 sets of mediums. Just in case you need them, obviously. I mean, especially with my driving, I would pretty much almost guaranteed a loose front wing. Team Turner, I've never seen him race before. Let's see what he can do in the British Racing Green Aston Martin. Prettiest car out on the track alongside the Ferrari. We'll go down to the Ferrari of, let's see if it's Angry Badger, but I don't think he's going to be doing anything. As I said, do bear with me on these things. Just to try and get myself back up to speed with all the controls and things. Evening, Genty. Nice to hear from you. Hope you're keeping well. But Gandalf sets a 143.442. Iron Batman a 144.6. He's a little bit of a way off Iron Batman. Let's ride on board then with Warrener. See what he can do. A 144.03. 030, and Team Turner goes fastest with a 143.399. Let's drop down to, I think it's a Mercedes that's possibly closest to crossing the line. Might be UFRL William. Let's ride on board then with him for now. He's in low fuel mode though from the looks of things. DD Friend has left the session. If anyone can, unfortunately I don't have him as a friend on my list. If you can, please invite him back. William spinning off there. I don't know if it's because he's in low fuel mode maybe. Let's go then down to Woody in Sector 2 in the Haas. That's who Genty is cheering on tonight. That'll be 50 Gent. Bit of green Sector 1 and 2. Salty Stevens also retiring early on. Is that because they're having to take an engine penalty? Of course, if anyone knows that, by all means, please let me know. Woody diving into the pits then. Let's go to Angry Badger. He's invalidated. Let's leave Angry Badger then for the time being. Gandalf in low fuel mode, as is Viking Fox. Warrener. He is on another outlap from the looks of his ERS. Jar Bing moving off track. Let's go down to, I think he will also be, well, no, having said that, it does look as if he's on a flying lap because he purpled Sector 2. Let's stick with the Mercedes of Doug L1222 for the time being. Thank you, Salty Stevens, for confirming that. Salty Stevens does indeed have an engine penalty. I believe that's one race in the season, isn't it, that you guys have to do that. You have to pick a specific track. And Doug has used all his ERS, all his deploy. He probably would have gone significantly faster had that not been the case, but he moves into provisional P7. Mr. Potwatch, I think he might be doing another outlap here, maybe, because the ERS is building back up. Pretty sure that might be the case. Usually do 2 outlaps here. Rotti 97 GSXR. An invalidated time, so we'll move off of him for the time being. Spills still yet to set a lap and has also invalidated, and is also running low on fuel. I think it will be a little while before we see his next run. We're right on board then with Warrener 666. Pretty sure I saw him top of the pile earlier. Again, could be completely wrong. Can't seem to get the table up in front of me. I'm pretty sure it's something I'm doing, but he goes fastest in Sector 2. He's 0.3 of a second up from his last lap. Moment, be looking at around a 143.7. He's going to need a bit more if he's certainly going to be able to get past Team Turner in the Aston Martin and Gandalf in the Alpine. DD Friend has rejoined. It's good, it's just sad that he's retired out on track. It's a 143.4 for Warrener 666, and that puts him up into P2. A very, very good lap indeed from the Williams driver, and they'll be most pleased with him again, especially as they're leading the constructors quite some clear margin. Epic Frenchie sadly has invalidated, so we'll move off of him for the time being. Let's go down to William, who's yet to set a lap time. He's just starting his lap now. He's in Sector 1 in the Mercedes. If that's the William I think it is, pretty sure every time I see him race, he's always in a Mercedes. He's also got a red flashing fuel light as well. So he's got enough fuel to see out the lap anyway. Stick with him for the time being. Good to see that 19 people have so far joined in to watch this evening's Grand Prix in Belgium. He's going through sector 2 now. It looks quite crisp. It wasn't a purple sector 1, so it doesn't look as if he's going to be challenging for the top at the moment. See if he can produce through sector 2 and 3. And a little bit wide there, but just about managed to keep it. He's purple sector 2. Shids and Gigs F1, we want a Gandalf P1. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind that either. I think Gandalf is an absolutely fantastic driver. I think that would be absolutely brilliant for today's Grand Prix. And all the deploys used by William will affect his lap time, sadly. He's in provisional P5 as things stand with a 143.755. We'll now go on to the Viking Fox 3557. Just goes through sector 1. I believe he is P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Pretty sure it's Warrener in P1. Moment Warrener is holding all the cards and is 3/10 faster as things stand. But of course, as the track gets warmer, the drivers get more and more used to it. Of course, they weren't able to practice today because they didn't know what track it was. But the drivers so far are doing a really sterling job out there. If it was me, I think I'd be off the track by now without half an hour or so's worth of practice. I certainly wouldn't be able to get a setup that fast. I'd be running around trying to find one off the internet. Looking faster at the moment from Viking Fox. He's very smooth, hitting all the correct apexes. It did sound a bit rear tyres seem to come out there, but that possibly is down to the setup more than anything. He has purpled sector 2. He's nearly 3/10 down on his previous best, so he will be challenging for P1 at the moment. Provisional P1 could well be Viking Fox's if he has a successful sector 3. It's looking very good at the moment until all the deploy used. That might affect him going into the final straight. Let's hope it doesn't affect him too much. Seems to be a common occurrence on this track. But it is Viking Fox up into provisional P1 with a 143.258. Absolutely fabulous from the Haas driver. Really, really strong showing there. That's Iron Batman. He's 1.5 seconds up. He's certainly doing another outlap there. Let's go down to Doug. He's 0.2 up at the moment. That's through sector 1. That would potentially put him up into around sort of P7. That sort of remit. I think Viva has very kindly put in a link into the Twitch. Me being me, able to track it down. I have got the stream open up on a laptop device next to me. There is a link there, but I can't seem to click on it. But never mind, doesn't matter. Let's go down to Spills again. 2 seconds over, but I think he's doing another outlap. It certainly looks that way from the Ferrari. Let's go back to Doug then, who moves up into P6. Pretty decent lap from him. Apologies for missing the final stages of that. I really shouldn't have left you there. Never mind. We live and learn, Doug. We live and learn. Jar Jar Bing, as if he's going to start maybe a flying lap after this one. Although, no, he's diving straight into the pits. There's Epic Frenchie, who sadly has invalidated. He's going to get any better then. With only 3 minutes 35 seconds left to go, he's going to have much chance to get back out there again. Everyone at the moment still residing in the pits. I wouldn't be surprised. Viking Fox Is he going to dive into the pits? Yes, he does. It'll be a long in lap. I presume he was incredibly low on fuel. We're still waiting for Team Turner to come out. Warner is on an out lap. He'll certainly have plenty of time to produce another out lap to burn off any excess fuel, as will Gandalf and as will William. Doug, this will certainly be his last run. The highest he will be able to hope for today will be P6. I'll have to hope that the track hasn't warmed up significantly enough for the other drivers to catch him. Let's go down to Mr. Potwash then. No, he's just finished his flying lap. Apologies once again for missing it. But it's P11 for Mr. Potwash. Getting any better than that today. He's used all his available ERS there as well, so I very much doubt he'll be improving on that. Let's go up to the league leader, I believe. Again, apologies if I got it wrong. Let's go up to Warner 666. Let's see if he can put the pressure right back on Viking Fox and Team Turner 5. I don't think we'll see Viking Fox again today. He is in the pits. We'll be hoping that Warner messes up this lap, although it looks quite strong so far. Also hope that Team Turner and Gandalf don't have much luck either. Gandalf just starting his flying lap, so we will stick with Warner then for the time being. Angry Badger having a nightmare then, as he's saying in the Twitch chat. Sorry to hear that, Angry Badger. I'm pretty sure you're another driver I always seem to see in the red of Ferrari. You must get very, very lucky with that team. Stick with Warner then, who does go fastest through Sector 2. This is looking like a strong lap from the Williams driver. He now moves on into Sector 3 in the final part of the track. I wonder if Warner will do the same as the others and use all of his deploy before the final straight. Doesn't seem to be the case here. He still has a little bit of deploy left to use. The ERS activated, and Warner goes provisional P1 with a 1:43.047. A fabulous lap from the Williams driver. Will now drop down to Gandalf, who's ever so slightly quicker than his previous best. But I don't think it's going to be enough as things stand to really trouble Warner or Viking Fox at the top. Unless he can have a really good, which I don't think is going to be the case now with all the deploy used, and he has sadly invalidated as well. Let's drop down to UFRL William, who's had a strong Sector 2. Can he push Warner and Viking Fox, Team Turner and Gandalf? Can he maneuver his way up into the top 4? He's already in the top 5 currently. Let's see if he can get any better for the Mercedes team. Still got plenty of ERS left to use. I wonder if he's not used enough here. William crosses the line in P2, a 1:43.124. That's absolutely fabulous for the Mercedes driver. I do wonder if he'd used that little bit more of his ERS. Would he have been able to have really put the challenge in on Warner? Still a little way behind the lead driver. Who have we got left to cross the line? And we'll go down to I Am Batman. Actually, is Viking Fox back out? He is indeed back out. We'll actually stick with Viking Fox then. He's going to try and produce another flying lap. Let's see what he can do in the Haas. Always run very wide. Don't think he's going to have enough on this one, sadly for him. But we will see. We'll see. Going to Team Turner for the time being. Looks as if he's 0.2 up at the moment. I think he's going to be improving his previous best, but let's just double check. A 1:43.741. He remains in P4. Let's say Viking Fox has surrendered that lap then. Going down to Art Mickey. I'm pretty sure Art Mickey, from memory, used to be a strong Tier 1 driver. I wonder what happened to him. Jar Jar Bing has used all of his deploy. Sadly for him, he still has 43% left. But a very good lap time nonetheless from the Alpine. A 1:43.381. And I tell you what, That is an absolutely fabulous, fabulous name, Jar Jar Bing. Of course, we have just recently had May the 4th with you as well. Fabulous, fabulous name. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much us done here for qualifying, with Woody having invalidated his lap. Quickly run through the order with you. We have Warrener 666 taking P1, UFRL William in P2, Viking Fox in P3, Jar Jar Bing P4, Lee Turner P5, Gandalf P6, I Am Batman 077 in P7, Doug in P8, Ark Mickey P9, Epic Frenchie P10, Woody P11, Mr. Potwash taking P12, Rotty in 13. Apologies, Rotty. There's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to say that. And Spills 7 in P14. And then, of course, we had a couple of normal retirements. Maybe possibly Badger. So Dee Friend, Salty Stevens, Simon, and Angry Badger in the bottom 4. And Angry Badger saying in the chat, starting last, making the job more interesting for myself. That's absolutely the way you should look at it, Angry. That is absolutely the way you should look at it. Certified Deck saying Warrener, William, and Jar Jar were all tier 3 last season, and now in the top 4 for tier 2 this season. Absolutely fantastic. Meriden Gaming saying Sandbaggers. Yeah, I've known a few of them in my time of league racing, absolutely. But it's not always the case. Sometimes that people just improve naturally by better gear, new wheels. Some people start out on pads, move on to steering wheels. Often makes a hell of a difference, especially if you go from, say, for instance, a Logitech onto a Fanatec or something like that. It can make a hell of a difference. The weather certainly doesn't look overly good this evening, but of course, I'm pretty sure as long as everything's still the same, I believe it is a 5-minute break. But of course, if anyone knows any different to me, by all means, please let me know. I won't be going anywhere anyway. I might just pop away quickly for a quick drink. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Thank you. And that's me back. Sainsy93 has very kindly sent me over current driver standings, which I'll quickly run through those with you now. So it is Warrener with 259 points, doing a sterling job for the Williams team. And he's certainly looking to increase that gap on the Viking Fox this evening, especially with P1 in qualifying. Viking Fox then with 231, Gandalf with 222, Boy Knockout with 175, but I don't believe he is racing this evening. UFRL Original, I believe, Ark Mickey with 175 points, William with 166, Woody with 144, Salty Stevens with 111. Pretty sure I've raced with Salty Stevens before. I'm pretty sure he's a very, very strong driver. Angry Badger with 108, Epic Frenchie 107, Mr. Potwash 97, Team Turner 62, Simon with 56, DD Friend 48, Spills 23, and RX Cryptic with 14. Let's have a look. I can't seem to see Jar Jar up there. Is that because he's in tier 3, or am I getting this completely wrong here? Yeah, certified deck saying Warrener, William, and Jar Jar all tier 3 last season. I don't see Jar Jar up there unless he's something different on here. I'm 100% sure. I'm sure I'll work it out eventually. And Viking Fox, good evening. Good evening to yourself as well. I hope you can have a very strong race this evening. It's a good qualifying session from yourself, and hopefully you can push Warrener all the way, especially given your current title fight with the Williams man. The weather certainly doesn't look too great there. If any of the drivers have any information on what the weather is likely to be like, by all means, please fire away on the Twitch. But it certainly doesn't look overly good. And looks as if we're about to get things underway here. And it's lights out and away we go here in Spa, Belgium. Let's see if we can get all the bits and pieces sorted straight away. Of course, I remembered the UFRL doesn't do... and we do have one car spinning out there, but Warren and Viking Fox have all made it through successfully. See if we can get the position changes up here. In fact, actually, we will go for tyres. Most drivers starting on the mediums then. But it is William now up into P3. Who's dropped back then? Jar Jar Bing has certainly lost out on the opening lap then, sadly for him. The Viking Fox has gained a position and will now start pushing Warrener for P1. Both of them on the medium compound tyres. 3 drivers on the soft compound tyre and a couple on the hards. We'll run through all of that with you in just a second, but we will stick with some of these early battles here. And apologies if I do miss anything. I'm still trying to get used to all the buttons again. Right on board with, let's go back to the top then. Let's go back to Team Turner in the Aston Martin. We're looking to try and catch William then. I'll tell you what, let's have a look and see all the positional changes. And so Viking Fox gained 1 position. William dropped 1. Team Turner was also up 1, and lots of brake dust coming off there. Doug was up 3, so it's a magnificent start by him. Gandalf remaining in P6. Epic Frenchie up 3. Jar Jar Bing, sadly for him, down 4. Ark Mickey remaining the same. Let's go to Ark Mickey, actually, who is challenging Jar Jar Bing here. Backs out, but then loses the position to Spills, who's gained 5 places. It could well be 6 in a minute if he can overtake the Alpine. He certainly does have the inside line here, Spills. 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. It's already a 3-second time penalty for him. And Ark Mickey looks as if he's going to try and go down the outside of turn 1. Isn't successful there, but it's a real big battle going on just there. We do have a car off track. Not really sure who it was. It may have been Spills. I think it was Spills indeed. Let's go to Doug then. Pushing hard here. DRS is available. Of course, it's available from lap 1 now. Previous generations of the game, and of course in F1 in real terms. It's going to have to be lap 3. Me personally, I did prefer that. You end up with in the game. You end up with a rather large DRS train very, very early on. As if Simon is trying to make a move here. Simon goes off track there. Will lose quite a few positions, sadly for him. Let's go down to Mr. Potwash then in P10. Going to be challenging here. Let's see what he can do up against Ark Mickey then. We will go back to the top in a minute. Doug looks as if he's getting closer to Team Turner, but we'll stick with Mr. Potwash for the time being. If he's in a pretty decent battle with Ark Mickey and John being in front of him. But it's all very, very close throughout the whole track. Let's go to Doug then, who is looking like he could push Team Turner here. He'll have the DRS available to him in just a second on the pit lane straight. Leading on into turn 1. Viking Fox with the fastest lap of the race, and he does take P1. Apologies for missing that. But he does take P1. It's a real strong start by the Viking. He's up 2 places then. A real good start from him. Go down to Team Turner then. Let's stick with him for the time being. He's very, very, very close to UFRL William just in front of him. I do wish the Formula One would do a little bit more with their camera angles. So that would be things more interesting. Down to Doug, braking late there, but just about managing to hold it through. Viking Fox has lost out in the meantime. I tell you, we're going to go back to this battle because we've missed too much of it now. Viking Fox has now dropped behind the Williams of Warren. I'm guessing it was down the long DRS straight. We'll stick with this one for now. The Haas is right on the tail end of the Williams. You don't see that in many races with a Williams and a Haas at the top, but you certainly do here in Tier 2. Do you also do bedtime stories or just comms? I do bedtime stories for my son, but I know people have asked me that in the past as well. We do have a full safety car out on track then, ladies and gentlemen. It looks as if DD Friend has sadly gone off track. That was caused by someone else, or if it was just a mistake from him. But we do have a full safety car. Let's quickly run you through the positional changes then. So Viking Fox is up 1, Warner remains the same. William down 1, Team Turner up 1. Doug up 3, and Warner deciding to go into the pits. I tell you what we'll do. He's on the medium compound tyre. Does that mean he's going to run hards to the very end? Sure, I could run hards to the very end here. It's quite a big ask. But a number of drivers are pitting. Be interesting to see what they do eventually come out on. Warner does indeed decide to go into the hards. I understand the soft compound drivers pitting. Guessing they'll be going on to the... In fact, Rossi decides to stay out. That's strange. I thought he would have pitted there. Mr. Potwash, Jar Jar Bing, Woody, Iron Batman, Simon and Spills all pitting. I'll have a look at the tyres in just a second. And so Viking Fox, William, Turner, Doug, Gandalf, Epic Frenchie, Ark Mickey, Angry Badger, the top 8 all running on the medium compound tyre, all 3 laps old. Then we have Salty Stevens in P9 running on the hards, Rotti on the softs. I'm really surprised that Rotti didn't pit. I'm sure many of you watching at home were also quite surprised that Rotti didn't decide to dive into the pits. We have Warner, Jar Jar, I Am Batman, Spills, and Simon all on hards, brand new fresh hards. Can they do 18 laps? Can they run to the very end of this Grand Prix? I think it's going to be a big ask. It'll take a lot of time management. It'll certainly be interesting. I mean, you're going to see Viking Fox pull quite a bit of a gap, I think, over Warner over the next few laps. So he's going to have no traffic in front of him. He will have William challenging him behind. I think it's possibly a mistake by Warner, but and I'm not leading the Tier 2 Drivers' Championship, so what do I know? But I do think it was a little bit too early. I think Viking Fox is going to see the best out of those mediums in the next 5 laps or so. He's got no traffic in front of him. and then he can potentially dive in for a set of hards afterwards. I suppose he has got to pull a pretty decent gap though, hasn't he, on Warner? It's a tough call, but we'll see how it pans out at the end. No signs of the safety car coming in this lap. We haven't had any confirmation from the FIA. Hopefully we'll see that on the next lap. It's definitely going around one more time here in Spa, Belgium. Be it with all cars now having caught up to the rest of the pack. So we do have Viking Fox leading the way, followed by William, followed by Team Turner. Rounds out your top three. Meridian Gaming saying no more safety cars. Warner could be cooking here. Him and his teammates could work together. They certainly could. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't think I could manage those tyres for 18 laps around this grueling track. But maybe, just maybe, the championship leader knows what he's doing. Delph then running in P5 currently, so it's been a reasonable race from the Wizard. It's in P4 in the championship currently, I believe. It's been another strong season for him. And I'll tell you what we'll do in the meantime as well. I presume a few of you will be interested in what's going on within the football today, which sees, of course, Inter Milan taking on Barcelona. For those of you who don't want to know, turn it off now. But it is currently a bit of a shock on the cards. It is Inter Milan 2, Barcelona 0. At the moment, Inter Milan will be going through to the Champions League final at 5-3 on aggregate. Kalanoglu, easy for me to say, has just buried the second from the penalty spot. I believe there was any cards or any red cards or anything like that in the build-up for that goal, but it is currently Inter Milan, ladies and gentlemen, who will be heading through to the Champions League final. And me personally, I really hope that they'll take on PSG and certainly not Arsenal, being a Tottenham Hotspur fan. But Race Control, ladies and gentlemen, has just confirmed the safety car will be back in this lap, so we will get the racing back underway. Certified Deck saying if the rain hits and it hits hard, probably best being on the hards. I have no idea if there is rain due to come, but yeah, absolutely. Certified Deck saying got half of my prediction right so far. Then I said Arsenal into final. I really hope you're wrong. I really hope Arsenal get an absolute caning tomorrow at the hands of PSG. That is because I am a Tottenham fan. Right, so we will see Viking Fox restart proceedings here on lap 6. And, seems to be a pretty good getaway here. He's already nearly got a second's worth of lead on UFRL William. It's going into turn 1. Let's see if anything else can happen further down. Rotti is on 5-lap-old softs. I should imagine they're to the point where they might start screaming. Have to run them for a little bit longer now. He's going to have to go soft to hard, I would believe. Epic Frenchie, in the meantime, has dropped a position to Arc Mickey. Mickey in the Red Bull, Epic Frenchie in the McLaren. Looks as if there's going to be a bit of a battle here. Epic Frenchie just behind the Red Bull. We're right on board with him now. Can he get it? Nope. He's decided, I think, wisely to back out. Team Turner now just 3/10 behind UFRL William. It'll be too long before he's potentially making a move on the Mercedes man. Rotti right behind Warner then. Warner struggling to get those hards going. Rotti looks as if he's going to make a move on the championship leader. But, again, I think wisely decides to bide his time. He runs a little bit wide there. Wouldn't be surprised to see two warnings given there to both Warner and Rotti. Viking Fox having a really good, strong start. He's now 1.5 seconds clear of UFRL William out in P1 and P2. And Team Turner, in the meantime, has just overtaken William. Sorry we missed that. I didn't quite see how close it was between the pair. But it's still very, very close. William right behind Team Turner. Will he look to make a move into the final chicane here? And, no is the answer to that. Sadly for Team Turner, though, he will not have DRS available to him. DRS has now been enabled. Doug will have DRS on William, but William will have DRS on Team Turner. I think we're going to see a number of overtakes now going down the long straight after a rouge. That's how you say it. We will stick with this onboard, or will we? No, we'll stick with this one for the time being. Let's go to Doug then. Doug challenging UFRL William for P3 at the moment. And Doug moves up into P3. It's a fantastic move. And now he's going to have Team Turner in his sights. Now, was that a bit of team orders there? I didn't quite realize at the time that Doug and William were both Mercedes drivers. Let's go down to Epic Frenchie then. No, he's too far back at the moment. We're going to see any moves from him so far. We'll go to Gandalf then in P5. In fact, let's move up to Doug. Just dropped 6/10 now behind Team Turner. He's starting to fall back. They're both on the same tyre strategy from the looks of things. It's on 6-lap-old mediums. Have a look at the penalty scenario then. Woody then with 3 seconds worth of penalties and Spills with the same. Positional changes certainly makes for good reading then for Angry Badger. He said he was going to have to do it the hard way. He has jumped up an incredible 10 places in that Ferrari. A really sterling job so far by the Badger. Salty Stevens as well with a really impressive start to his race. He's up 9 positions. I suppose a few of these positions, of course, will be due to the pit stops. Let's go then back to Gandalf now, who will be pushing UFRL William, especially on the DRS straight, although has Doug slightly backed off there to assist his teammate and give him that DRS. William seems to be struggling a little bit on those mediums. I wonder if he'll make the call to pit soon. Perhaps he's on a slightly different setup to the rest of the field. We'll stick them with Gandalf for the time being. Again, apologies for those camera angles. They never look that great, but the Alpine deciding to back out there, I think it's probably the wise decision. Team Turner then, ladies and gentlemen, has just about managed to bring Viking Fox back into the DRS zone. It is now under a second. I wonder if Viking Fox may look to pit soon. He's on 7-lap-old mediums. Imagine they probably try and push them to maybe lap 10, something along those lines. Meridian Gaming saying could be bad for Warrener being stuck behind these in a DRS train. That's exactly what I thought when he went onto those hard tyres. Thought he was going to struggle to get round them all, and sadly for the Williams driver, he looked odds on for a race win today. He's struggling in that mid-pack. Team Turner then is starting to gain here on the Viking Fox. Whether or not the Viking Fox is just trying to save his tyres a little bit here maybe. But Team Turner will certainly have an opportunity to make a move on the Viking Fox on this lap. Now, does anyone know anything about rain potentially coming soon? It certainly looks cloudy out there. I know people have mentioned it in the chat. Interesting to see if that does happen, if that'll change anything. Whether or not we'll have enough rain to potentially move on to the Indies. Obviously, if it rains now, then we certainly will. But the rain comes along late. We'll stick on board then with Team Turner then. He's just about to make a move here, I think. I think he might just have run out of room here. Yeah, the Viking Fox just about has enough to keep Team Turner at bay on this lap. I'd imagine both of them are maxing out their ERS. It surprised me if that was the case. I won't say anything live on Twitch about that, because those drivers, of course, are listening in, which I hope they are. Go then down to Arc Mickey, pushing Gandalf to the very limits here. It's been quite a strong race from the Mickey. Gandalf now, it's incredibly close between this top six. There really is not a lot in it. In fact, we can get that information up, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's only just under 3 seconds between 6th and 1st. It is very, very tight at the top at the moment. Of course, the safety car scenario has helped with that. For those wanting to know who has made the stop so far, Warrener, Jar Jar Bing, Mr. Potwash, I Am Batman, Simon, Spills, Woody and Rotty have all made one stop. I'd imagine if they could have it their way, it'd be their only one perhaps, although perhaps maybe not Woody and Rotty and Mr. Potwash. I think they will have to pit once again. Being on those medium compound tyres, I think the hard runners, the sounds of what I'm hearing on the Twitch line, should be able to push them to the very end, although that would be about 18 laps worth. Of course, most likely maybe 16 laps in full racing conditions. But Gandalf, William losing out there to both Gandalf and Arc Mickey. Apologies for missing that. Arc Mickey, William there really dropping back. Not good for him at all. Team Turner still then behind the Viking Fox, who's doing a real sterling job up in P1 at the moment. Let's go down to Warrener, really pushing Epic Frenchie in front of him. Epic Frenchie's tyres, I should imagine, are just starting to scream. And we have a Williams off then. It is Salty Stevens off in Sector 2. We have yellow flags out. Thankfully, though, it doesn't seem as if it's going to cause a full safety car. It doesn't look as if it's caused anyone else any major issues. Thankfully, his car has been ghosted, which is always good news, but that's not good news, of course, for the Williams team, who look on for some real good, strong points today, especially if Warrener can start pushing his way up through the track. He's got 12 laps to go here. Will be about to push Epic Frenchie, I think, here. Of course, no DRS available to him down on the back end of Sector 3. We will go to the battle at the top in just a second between Team Turner and the Fox, as they will have DRS available to them. A 3-second time penalty then has been dished out to the Badger. Will certainly be another thing to make him not too happy. He's now diving into the pits. Let's then go back up to this battle then at the top between Team Turner and the Viking Fox. In fact, let's go to Arc Mickey, who's a little bit closer here. Keep an eye on that battle for the top though. We'll see if we have to go back. I think Viking Fox will have DRS to do it. And Arc Mickey then moves himself up into P4. That is a really strong move by the Red Bull. He goes round the Alpine. It's a really nice, clean move on the Alpine. And Arc Mickey then up into P4. He'll now be looking to push his way to a potential podium here in Spa. We're halfway through this Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. Your leader is, at the moment, the Viking Fox, who started the race in P3. Of course, he is still yet to pit. Warrener, on the other hand, who has pitted, is in P7. Jar Jar Bing is in P9, who's also pitted on 7-lap-old hards. I'm still not sure whether or not those hards are going to be good for 18 laps. But a little bit too early for me, but we'll see. So he's not too far behind. He's only 4 seconds technically behind the Viking Fox, Warrener. May have made the right move, you know. And the Viking Fox does now dive into the pits. Team Turner takes the race lead. Arc Mickey also staying out, as does Doug and Gandalf. Doug and Gandalf having a bit of a battle going on here. I'll probably stick with this one for the time being. Then Warrener. Yeah, Warrener. It's going to be quite a little bit of way clear of the Viking Fox, who's just put on the hard compound tyres. Go then back to the battle then before P1, P2 and P3. Doug then looking to potentially make a move then on Arc Mickey. The Mercedes looking at it and thinking better of it. decides to remain behind the Red Bull for the time being. So Warren has got another 10 laps to do on these hard tyres. I think it's going to be a big ask. I really do. But I'm surprised the medium runners haven't dived into the pits earlier. I think it was a good move by Viking Fox to dive in on that lap. It also gets him out of this battle between Team Turner, Ark Mickey and Doug, and William. William, of course, is there as well. Warner is catching up William, but not by as big an amount as Warner thought. Bearing in mind 11-lap-old mediums now, nearly 12-lap-old mediums. Thought he would have caught him up a little bit faster than what he is. So hard tyres not as good as what we think. Will the top runners then dive into the pits this lap? I would imagine they will. They won't. I wonder now then, ladies and gentlemen, if they're going to push, maybe go on softs to the end here, the top 5. I wonder if that's going to be their next option. I think it could well be. We'll stick with the top runners for the time being. I don't think Viking Fox has made any real inroads at the moment. He's 4 and a bit seconds behind Woody in P13. But we'll stick with the top runners for the time being. Let's go then to Ark Mickey. Team Turner. Ark Mickey, of course, will have the DRS available to him, but isn't closing the gap enough on Team Turner to make a move. Team Turner doing a sterling job in the Aston Martin as things stand. I can't see any rain at the moment, Meridian. I can see on my screen. If anyone else notices anything different, by all means, please do let me know. Warren now cutting Williams' advantage over him to 3.5 seconds. Still thought it would be a little bit more. Of course, you've got to remember he is running on 9-lap-old hards. He's not exactly running on the freshest of tyres either, in all fairness to him. Let's go a little bit further down the grid then. Let's go to Woody in the Haas. His teammate, of course, is now behind him. Very different strategies, though. I very much doubt Woody will be able to get these mediums to the end, although I could be wrong. Viking not really catching Woody at the moment. That's absolutely spot on there. He's still just under 4 seconds behind him. He's going to have to start to make some real inroads here if he's going to try and get back to the top. Epic Frenchie, 3-second time penalty then for the McLaren driver. Let's go then back to Ark Mickey, who's really starting to push Team Turner hard for P1. So see if he can get him after a Rouge. If he can get him before, then he'll wait now for the DRS to become available to him. And then I think the Red Bull driver will pounce on the Aston Martin man. He's going to try and go down the outside. One wheel is on the grass, but he does, though, make a successful move. And it is Ark Mickey, ladies and gentlemen, who does take P1. And in the meantime as well, whilst we were watching that, Gandalf has successfully navigated his way up onto a podium. He's now P3. Fantastic manoeuvre from him from the looks of things. Doug now in P4. And we have yellow flags out in Sector 1. I think, let's just have a look. It might have been Woody. Yeah, I think it was Woody, because the Viking Fox has now gone round him. The Viking Fox is now trying to overtake Iron Batman. Forces him a little bit wide there. Oh, and there is a contact there between Iron Batman and the Viking Fox. We have yellow flags out in Sector 2. The Red Bull has spun round. Again, not overly sure whose fault that was. Maybe Batman could have pulled out there. Not too sure. We'll let the stewards decide that one. Not sure if Viking already had the lead there. Let's go then back up to Doug in P4. Starting to catch Gandalf. I do wonder when these medium runners are actually going to decide to jump into the pits. Well, they're not. They're going to stay out again. They're definitely now going for the soft run. UFRL William, though, does dive into the pits. He would have 7 laps on the softs if he does decide to go on them, which he does. Of course, he will have less fuel, so that might be a good move from William. The Viking Fox is now ahead of William. It's not by a huge amount at the moment, although William may still well be in the pits. But Team Turner then looking to make the move down the outside of Ark Mickey, and does. It's a really strong, positive move by the Aston Martin, and Gandalf almost made the most of that as well, almost managing to get himself around Ark Mickey as well. But that was a really good move by Team Turner. It's fabulous to see that these drivers are still able to push these cars to the very limits, especially given how old some of these tyres are. So look, these drivers haven't even pitted once yet. Let's have a look at the, so Warrener being, Jar Jar being Simon, Spills, Mr. Potwash, Viking Fox, UFRL William, Angry Badger, Iron Batman, Woody and Rotty have all made stops. The rest of the field are yet to make any stops. The penalty scenario is as followed then. Epic Frenchie on 3, Spills on 3, Salty Stevens 3, Angry Badger 3, Rotty 3 and Woody 3 as well. We'll go back to the tyre scenario. It does look as if Gandalf and Ark Mickey swapping positions, so Ark Mickey is now, sadly for him, lost 2 positions on this lap alone. He'll be disappointed there. Is he going to dive into the pits this lap? Yes. No, Ark Mickey is not, but Team Turner, Gandalf and Doug all decide to dive into the pits. Doug making a very late break there, just to make sure he avoids that horrible 10-second time penalty. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, it used to be 5 on the last game, but it is 10 this season. If they'll correct that maybe on the next one. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it is looking very good indeed for Warrener then. He is up now into P2. He's made his final stop. Ark Mickey is still yet to stop, but he only holds a 3.2 second lead. Woody then deciding to go onto the intermediates. Now, is that a mistake or is that something we don't know? Viking Fox now also up into P6. Let's see how far. He's a little way back from Warrener now. Well, Warrener's strategy is working the best. Let's go down to Woody now going back in on softs on the looks of things. I think he must have made an error there. I think it must have been an error, certified deck. It was supposed to happen. If anything changes, I think it's going to be a real close run battle now between Jar Jar Bing and Warrener. I mean, maybe even Warrener just pulling away with this here with 6 laps to go. It certainly proved me wrong. He seems to be doing a smashing job. Seems to have made the correct decision to pit early on underneath the safety car conditions. Ark Mickey is now pitting. He's absolutely helpless to deny Warrener from building up a huge lead over him. It would be the same with Jar Jar Bing and Simon. Spills as well. And of course the Viking Fox. Mr. Potwash, I think, will now most likely go to the end on those mediums as well. I imagine they're going to be absolutely screaming at the end. But Ark Mickey now coming out in P9. He is behind Gandalf and Team Turner, crucially there. They're all on softs. Not too sure if the softs are going to be good enough here to push themselves up. I think there's too many cars in front of them. At the moment then, Warrener now leading the Grand Prix once again. He's bided his time and has certainly seemed to have made the correct decision, pitting very, very early on. He's on 13 lap old hards, but seemingly doing a sterling job out there. Jar Jar Bing also made the same commitment. He's on 13 lap old hards, and it's the same with Simon. Simon doing a fabulous job. In fact, Simon is up 14 positions since the very start of this Grand Prix. He at the moment is very much looking likely that he's going to get a podium, especially with Spills on a 3-second time penalty just behind him. What a fabulous, fabulous race Simon has had. And the Haas has gone very, very wide there. The Viking Fox losing positions left, right and centre. Wow, I'm not too sure what happened there. Doesn't look like there's any damage. Might have just lost the front end. Now sadly dropped to P10, which is really, really annoying considering the battle at the top of the championship. So he's pushing Mickey hard here to regain that position, but of course they're all on softs next to him now. I think that's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a tough end to the race, sadly, for the Viking Fox. We'll stick with this battle for now, the ongoing battle. Viking Fox is going to really struggle with all these soft runners behind him, which is a real shame because he's run a really good race. Certified Deck saying, go on Simon, up the kick. He is doing a fabulous, fabulous job. And Mickey then also doing a fabulous job. What an overtake that was on Mr. Potwash. He's now manoeuvred himself up into P7, remaining though behind Gandalf and Team Turner crucially here. But I still don't see how these soft runners catch the top three with all the with only 4 laps remaining. You know, what a drive by this man in particular, ladies and gentlemen, in the green kit car. Simon 0163, what a job by him. He's gone up 14 positions to be in P3. He's doing absolutely fantastic. Hazer saying, come on Warrener, for the Williams team. He is leading by 2.5 seconds over the Alpine of Jar Jar Bing. He's doing a fabulous, fabulous job, and you know, having pitted so early on, really good manoeuvre from him. And Team Turner now up into P4, overtaking Spills. I'd imagine Mickey and Gandalf won't be too far behind them. They are on the soft compound tyre. I think they're going to be too far behind, though, to really push those top 3. Let's go down to William. Team Turner with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:45.586, a fabulous lap time from him. Doug then manoeuvring his way up into P10, overtaking Mr. Potwash. Woody receiving another 3-second time penalty. He's not had his best race today. Let's go back to Mickey then, who's looking most likely to get P5. I mean, in theory, he's already got P5, given that Spills has got a 3-second time penalty. I'd imagine he would cement that P5 position with a lovely overtake here on Spills. DRS activated, ERS in use. Mickey manoeuvres his way up into P5. In the meantime as well, Doug manoeuvres his way round the Viking Fox. Woody setting the new fastest lap of the race, a 1:45.094. It's been a torrid race for the Haas of Woody. It's been a bit of a torrid race for the Haas team in general there, sadly. Especially as we really wanted to see a title fight move its way into the final day. But I think if Warrener wins today, I think it's quite unlikely. Spills then picking up another 3-second time penalty. That moves him on to 6 seconds worth of penalties. Really affect him come the end of the race, I would imagine. So Team Turner then, he is 4 seconds behind Simon. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to catch him. 3 laps to go. It'd be really harsh on Simon if he did catch him. Because Simon's run an absolutely fantastic race. Certified Deck saying he won't catch Warrener. Yeah, I don't think he's going to catch Warrener either. I think Warrener and Jar Jar Bing, I think, are pretty much secure unless something major happens, unless they spin out or something. I imagine they're definitely cemented on to finish P1 and P2 respectively. Stick with Gandalf at the moment. He's pushing Spills here. Well, Spills does have a 6 seconds worth of penalties. He's running on very, very old hard tyres here. 16-lap old hard tyres. Gandalf making the early lunge then. It's a really solid move from the Alpine up into P6. They'll now be looking to try and get closer to Mickey, although Spills now will have the DRS available to him, and he will get the position back. He's certainly got the inside line, which will really frustrate Gandalf, especially with Doug breathing down his neck as well. Oh no, apologies, Gandalf remained in front. What a great bit of driving there from the Alpine. nailed on for Spills to get that, but Gandalf clearly getting the better traction, and obviously so being on much fresher soft tyres. Hazer saying, come on Turner, defend your position. He's got Art Mickey breathing down his neck. Art Mickey will have the DRS available to him. I think Simon, though, should be in the clear in P3. He's 2.1 seconds behind Jar Jar Bing, and he's 2.6 seconds ahead of Team Turner. So I think the last real race now, you're probably right, is between Turner and Ark Mickey going into the final couple of laps here. We will keep a close eye on this one. Doug then moving up into P7. Bill's dropping down. Well, sadly for him, he does have a 6-second time penalty as well. He's now going to have the Viking Fox breathing down his neck in the last couple of laps. Mickey then just half a second back on Team Turner. Team Turner will not have any DRS available to him. He'll have to rely solely on that battery. Certified deck saying secure P3 for Simon, which is absolutely fantastic and what he deserves. What a drive by the kick driver. Real solid draw performance from him. We'll ride on board then with Ark Mickey. He's going to have DRS available to him. Moves to the outside of Team Turner and successfully navigates his way up into P4. It's a fabulous overtaking maneuver from him. Of course, though, Team Turner will most likely now have the opportunity on lap 22, the final lap, the ultimate lap, to then make a move on Art Mickey. Although, having said that, Art Mickey is only 1.1 seconds now behind Simon. I think Simon must have made a little error on those old tyres. Art Mickey is gaining, and gaining fast on Simon. Have we spoken too soon about a secured P3 for Simon? I think we may well have done. Art Mickey is catching, and catching fast. Meriden Gaming saying, come on Mickey, get that podium. Certified Deck saying, I don't like this one bit. Simon, lad, defend for your life. He is just over half a second behind him. This is certainly the most interesting battle going into the ultimate lap here at Spa in Belgium. This is the final lap then, ladies and gentlemen. Will Ark Mickey be able to make that move on Simon? We're into turn one. It is, I tell you what, I don't think Simon's got a hope in hell of being able to defend this lead, sadly for him, which will be absolutely gut-wrenching for the kick driver. He's going to have to hope and pray that battery pushes him on, but I think this DRS straight is just too long. Moves over to try and defend. Isn't quite able to do it. And Ark Mickey moves on up into P3. Sadly for the kick driver, he's now got to keep Turner behind him as well. Turner's very, very close on his heels. Hopefully he can manage to keep it. Certified Deck saying, I don't think Simon will get fourth either. I think those tyres are just giving up the ghost. I mean, poor guy's done 18 laps on him. He's done a fabulous job anyway to even get it that far. But Art Mickey now has pulled well and truly away from Simon. Sadly, Simon will lose that final podium berth. I thought he had it in the bag. I think there must have been one slip, one mistake somewhere along the lines. Iridium Gaming saying, my goat. That is for Ark Mickey. Moving on up into P3. Team Turner. Oh, he's going to push him. He is really going to push him into the final part of Sector 3. He's going to have to use all of his ERS here. There's no DRS available in this final part of Sector 3. He's trying to go down the inside. Simon will have the better line on the outside. I think he's secure home and dry in fourth now, unless he makes an error here into the final chicane. Simon, though, does run very, very wide. Manages to catch it just in time here, though. I think he's too far behind, and Simon does take P4. But it is a race win for the Warrener. A fabulous, fabulous drive from him. He made the correct call on lap 4 to pit early under the safety car conditions to put on those hards. He's run those hards for 19 laps. That is the same for Jar Jar Bing, who takes P2. Art Mickey then rounding out the podium positions with P3. Let's just have a look at the positional changes. And Simon then with a fantastic 13th place jump. So unlucky not to get P3. But I don't know if you guys do drive of the day still. But Simon 0163 is certainly my driver of the day. I thought he was absolutely fabulous out there today. Very unlucky not to secure P3, but Art Mickey as well. Another driver you could certainly put into that category as well. Team Turner taking P5, Gandalf P6. And I'll finish off the round off in just a moment once the list comes back up. But your race winner today, of course, is Warrener. What a fantastic drive from him. And driver of the day given by the game as well to Simon. It clearly shows what a job he did. And just hearing Angry Badger there through the, the microphone. But what a job then by Warrener, who takes P1 for the Williams team. And I'm pretty sure that also concludes his driver's title. Unless, of course, there is double points on the last day. I know UFRL do that sometimes. If that is the case, there might be an option there. I'm not 100% sure, but really strong drive from him. And he certainly made the correct decision to pit early on. I thought it was the wrong decision, but he certainly proved me wrong. Let's quickly run through that final list then, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got Warrener, Jar Jar Bing, Ark Mickey rounding out your podium. Simon in P4, Team Turner P5, Gandalf P6, Doug P7, William P8, the Viking Fox taking P9, Mr. Potwash P10, Epic Frenchie P11, Spills P12, Angry Badger P13, Salty Stevens 14th, I Am Batman 15th, Rotty 16th, Woody 17th, and DD Friend, who sadly did not finish the Grand Prix today, finishing in last place. And again, for those of you interested in the Champions League score, you probably won't be amazed to hear this, but it is now Inter Milan 2, Barcelona 2. Goals being scored by Eric Garcia and Danny Olmo, respectively. And it is now an incredible 5-5 on aggregate. But what a race then today, ladies and gentlemen, and a really big congratulations to the Warrener 666. A very strong drive indeed. I've been King Kong 1471. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening. It's been a fabulous race, and what a great idea to have the mystery track. I think it really threw some cat amongst the pigeons there. I think that was a really good idea by the UFRL team. I'd like to thank them for allowing me to do the show this evening. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll see Viva back in the seat very soon. But once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you and good night.